Hey everyone, it's Talia here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I have for you the Bemi Wanderlust collection. So we are going to talk about the different shades and how they apply really quick because I want to get into a tutorial using these. As soon as I saw the pre-launches for this collection, I just had so many ideas for what you could do with shades like this. They're nice spring tones, but they're also kind of muted, and I like that about them. I like that they all kind of have like a little bit of a gray tinge to them. I feel like they will take you through many seasons because of that. Let's dive in and just kind of talk about the different colors really quick, and then we'll jump into the tutorial. Shade number 1 is a nice muted blush pink color. It's definitely got a little bit of a gray tinge to it, but it is a nice kind of, I want to almost say like a neutral blush color. And this one applied really nicely for the most part. I found with these that you could apply them in one thin coat and they would look very opaque, but for something like this pink one and a couple others, I would recommend doing 2 coats just to build it up a little bit more. Shade number 2, when you first look at it, you may think that it is a gray, but it definitely is a purple with gray tones in it. And I really like how light this is because it almost looks like a light gray depending on how you look at it, but it's 100% definitely a purple, a very unique shade of grayish purple that I have in my collection. I think this particular shade would be a great background color for some brighter, darker purples if you're wanting to do some art like that. This one applied really nicely in one thin coat too. I would recommend this one going in 2 thin coats though. Number 3, let's talk about this one. So I am not usually one who loves yellow or loves orangey type of shades, but this one is so unique. I love how it's like a lighter creamsicle yellow color. It's not an overwhelming type of orange shade, and I think this one would be great for springtime, great for summer nails, or a great background color because it is a nice lighter tone. This one I do recommend doing in 2 thin coats. I don't overly find the Bemi gel polishes to be streaky or anything, but this one I found that I did have to kind of work that shade out a little bit more than the others. I love number 4. It is a really nice green color with some gray undertones to it. This one applied so nice. I do end up doing 2 thin coats in the demo here, but I truly think that you can get away with just 1 thin coat for this particular shade. It's very highly pigmented. Something with the Bemi gel polishes is that they self-level out really nicely too, and I prefer like a more runny consistency for a gel polish or a color gel, and I find the Bemi gel polish consistency to be one that I really like to use. Number 5 is a really nice light gray color. I recommend having at least one of these in your type of collection. They are a staple for sure, I find, because they are great for the background of nail art, or they're really nice to pair with brighter colors to kind of tone them down a little bit if your client doesn't want an overly overwhelming amount of color on their nails. Now this particular gray goes on so nice in 1 thin coat, especially if you're going to do a bunch of nail art on top of it. 1 thin coat was great. And the last color in the collection, number 6, I would describe this one as a light bluish gray periwinkle, if I can kind of say that, because I feel like it does have a little bit of a periwinkle vibe to it with the shade of blue that was picked, but it is definitely a muted blue color, a really nice one to add into this collection too. And this one I would recommend doing 2 super thin coats for it. Again, 1 coat goes on okay, but I do like the idea of doing 2. I'm the type of person who really likes bold, bright colors, but at the same time, I appreciate this collection for many reasons. I love how it's a little bit more muted and it has a little bit of a gray tone to it. I find shades like this are very versatile to either use on their own, but more so to pair with brighter colors to tone those brighter colors down. I also think this particular collection would be a great one to use as backgrounds for different nail art designs out there too. Another thing about the Bemi gel polishes that I really like is that they are self-leveling, they're really easy to apply, and they cure tack free, which is something unique to a bunch of different gel polishes that I feature on my channel. Now, if you're just going to use them on their own though, without the different nail art techniques, it is recommended to use a top coat to seal them in properly. This is the nail design that I came up with using some of these shades. I wanted to originally do something that was a little bit more minimalist, but you guys know me and this is how it went, so let me show you how. The first gel polish collection that Bemi came out with was an all neutral collection, and I went and grabbed a number 10 from that collection because I wanted to use it as the background for the middle finger and the ring finger. And the reason that I picked this one over the peachy yellow one that's in this collection that I'm featuring is because I thought that it would be a nice background for the different technique that I want to do, and then it would make that peachy shade pop out a little bit more. So I decided to put this all over the ring finger and the middle finger because I wanted those ones to stand out the most among the nail designs. For my other nails, I decided to go with these two shades on them as well because I really liked how the peachy shade, the green, and the purple kind of all went together. So I decided to put this one on the pinky finger, and this is number P02 in this particular collection, and you can see how it's applying so nicely here. I ended up only doing one coat for this color, and then same thing for the green shade on the pointer finger. I only ended up doing one thin coat with it as well. They do have a white and black as well, and their white is a little bit more blue based, which I like because I find it makes it a little bit brighter. So I'm going to take some of that as well as the peachy shade, the purple shade, and the green shade and just drop some on my palette. I initially started to swirl these with a brush, but I wasn't liking that. So then I'm going to go in with a dotting tool and get a little bit more of a swirl going on here. When you're swirling these though, do your best not to over swirl in my opinion, because I like to be able to see the definition of the different shades. I went with an angle brush to pick up the colors on my palette here, and then when I'm placing them down, I'm just going to drag my brush so it's like flat against the nail and pull those different colors with it as well. When you're doing this though, it can get a little bit gloopy, and because you're working with a gel polish that is highly pigmented, just make sure you work those colors out before you cure it, or you will have problems with them curing because of how pigmented they are. So I'm just going to take my brush and just lightly work out any of the thickness of the gel polish that I may have got. I'm trying not to make the colors swirl together too much though, because I really like the definition of the lines, especially with this particular design where you're going over top of a lighter shade. I find that you can really get the colors to kind of pair nicely and look a little bit better if you don't over swirl them. But if there's anything that you do want to work out or get some more definition with it, just take a smaller brush and that'll work it out a little bit better. So on the ring finger, I like the idea of doing this marble design kind of close to the cuticle as well as to the free edge, but leaving a little bit of a gap in between so you can see that nice neutral color below it as well. So that's exactly what I'm going to do with this, just making sure that I'm working out any of the thickness of the gel polish that may happen with grabbing too much of it on my brush. I decided to go in with these colors that are kind of already marbled together and add a little bit more gel polish in here and a little bit of the colors that I'm kind of missing. And even when you put the colors on the palette there, you can see how self-leveling this gel polish is. It's truly just great. I love that about it. So I'm going to create more of a swirl on my palette here too, because I decided to do the exact same thing on the green nail on the pointer finger where we have some marble added to it. But I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit more green added to my marble design. That way when I put it on the nail, it almost looks like the green is kind of being pulled through the marble design, if that makes sense. And I wanted this one to go in the center of the nail as opposed to on the two sides of it. I wasn't liking how it wasn't as marbled as I wanted, so I just took one of my small brushes here and grabbed a little bit more of the color and just kind of worked out the marbling until I got something that I like. I'm going to go in and matte top coat all of these. That way I can add my chrome design on top of them. If I went in with my chrome right now, the chrome would just get all over this gel polish. Even though it does cure to a tack-free finish, I will have some left over from it, and I don't want that. I did file a little bit of these nails too, just to make sure that the gel polish was even on the nails as well. Taking some of the Bemi tack-free top coat and a really long kind of thick striping brush, I'm going to draw thick lines here on the nail just to kind of frame the marbling that I already did. And I do not care how messy these lines are, if they're thicker in different spots or if they're thinner in others. I kind of want it to be messy because I feel like the chrome looks a little bit better when you're framing a design like this and it's not perfect. After I get my lines where I want them, I'm going to cure them in my lights, but no more than 15 seconds, and this is important. I love the Bemi chromes. I feature them on my channel many times in favorites videos. They're super high quality, and I love the rose gold ones, both this one and the rose gold hollow one, but I decided to use this one for this design, and I'm just gonna go in and do a little bit of a rubbing technique to transfer the chrome to the nails here. And you don't need much of this. I definitely have like too much on my little swabber thing here. A little bit goes a long way with the Bemi chromes. After I have them on the nail where I want them, I'm going to take a brush and get rid of the excess, but it is kind of hard to remove it all with a brush. So I find the best technique for removing chrome where you don't want it is to take one of these lipstick wands or lip gloss wands and soak it in a little bit of alcohol, and the chrome just does not like the alcohol and it seems to pull it off really nicely. And these brushes have a really nice fine tip, so you're able to remove exactly where you want all the chrome taken off. Using the exact same technique, I'm going to do this for the other nails that have the fun marble design on them. Again, I'm purposely trying to be messy with these lines. I don't want them to be perfect because I like when they look a little bit thicker and a little bit thinner in different areas. I was playing around with different brushes to see which one was remove the chrome the best, and I found this really stiff brush worked the best for it, but I still had to go in and do the alcohol technique with the lip gloss wand to remove the excess chrome powders that I didn't want. My holy grail crystal glue. This is the Bemi Bling Me resin. I love this. I cannot say enough good things about it. The thing that I like the absolute most is how quick it dries though, which is not for everybody. Some people do prefer a glue that does not dry as quick, but personally for me, I want something that dries super fast, and that's why this works really well. You just have to know exactly where you're going to be placing your crystals because you don't really have time to play with this particular glue, but it holds them in so well. So I decided on the pinky finger to matte it and then go in with some crystals on it. I wanted this kind of pointed crystal to be the main center of it, close to the cuticle, and then I did want some larger crystals kind of cascading down, as well as some smaller ones kind of framing that interesting shaped crystal. The crystal colors that I am using here are opal. We also have chrysolite, I feel like I might be saying that one wrong, and then I have light silk, which is one of my favorite ones, and the kind of orangey color is light peach. And I thought these shades would work really well for the different colors that we picked for this nail design as well. So when I'm applying the crystals, all I do is just drop a really small amount of the glue down on the nail using a micro swab, plop my crystal into it, and that's it. This glue will definitely hold these crystals. Your client should have no problems with them. I've done this technique for years, and I've used the Bemi resin on many of my existing clients that I have already. After I'm done with the crystals, this design is done, so I can just top coat and seal everything in. I do like chrome matted as well, but I did ultimately decide to make the marble nails shiny, and then I did want to leave the pinky finger matte because I liked that as well. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Definitely comment below and let me know what you think of this Wanderlust collection from Bemi Beauty Box. When I saw the initial promo pictures for this, I was like, this is such a unique collection. I have not seen anything like this, and I can see so much potential for it. If you've had the chance to use the new Bemi gel polishes, I would love to hear you guys' feedback and what you're thinking of the formula and the application of them too. Comment below and let me know what sort of nail tutorial designs you would like to see next. Make sure you're following me on all of my social media, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!